broadcast. So we're excited to bring that to you, and we are excited to get this matchup underway between the Bulldogs and the Seminoles at Lucy McDaniel Court inside Tully Gymnasium. Florida State off their sweep of Tulane. Samford looking for their first win of the season. We are underway here in Tully. Early joust at the net, and the Bulldogs try to cover that open floor. They cannot. Point Florida State.
And you know, when you get a pass that's really tight to the net, that Florida State block is going to be all over it.
Seminoles were not particularly effective blocking in Baton Rouge, but the block came alive last night. They also served fantastic last night. There weren't many of what we just saw there, the service errors.
I think there was only one serving error in that match, and so it's tough to start out this early with a missed serve.
So 1-all early on here. A lot of new faces for Chris Poole's squad. That is one of them, Audrey Koenig, right through the seam.
You'll see her take a nice big swing at this, and the block doesn't get quite close, so she's able to hit right through him, right past the defense.
Caroline Golden will go back to serve for the Seminoles. Their lone returning super senior on this roster. And miscommunication on the serve receive makes it point Florida State. It's 3-1.
So every coach talks about how important serve reception is and trying to be accurate. You've got to get that in a position up near the net where the setter can get to it. A little bit of confusion on Sanford's part.
Kate Morgan jammed up a little bit there and caused all that miscommunication and confusion. Opportunity here for Florida State to run a little more offense. That's Conley down the right side, and Samford will run out of room.
And they've got to really get control of this serve reception again. Just try and put it up right inside the attack area so that setter can get there and give you something good to swing at.
So Sydney off to a good start after a good night last night. McWhirter from the outside takes her first swing. Conley tries again, and that Samford block was there in time. Keeler Chan looking on, taking a few notes as his team comes away with their second point in this first set. This now his 6th season as the head coach, and he has 4 conference titles in the previous 5 in his time in Birmingham. Off the top of the block, and a nice defensive effort to keep that up. Great pancake by the Bulldogs. Conley will roll it off speed. And Norbert goes back to get it up ahead to her teammates. It'll be point Florida State, the attack over the back, and 5-2 FSU. Emma Clothier back to serve for Florida State. And there's an ace serve for Emma. So a good start for Chris Poole's Seminoles, and this is the youngest team that he's had since he was in Arkansas back in 1994, as he recalls. His record at FSU, 308-96. Back row attack, and it's sniffed out by that FSU block. Cameron Spence was the Bulldog attacker.
And we know Florida State's got a strong block. We get Corey Lewis over here, does a nice job of closing that out and really shuts down Samford, and they can't get anybody to surround her or cover that hitter.
Overpass put down by Lewis.
Well, so far this has just been a matter of Samford really not being able to receive the serve and give their offense a chance.
And Coach, you and I have been together for a few years. We've seen plenty of Florida State. The serving ability has always been there, but the execution really seemed to take an uptick last year. And between what we've seen last season and this first couple of matches this year, they really have been doing a much better job of serving tough and causing chaos for opposing teams.
And they're doing a good job of keeping Samford out of system. That means that they're not able to get the ball to their setter and run any of their offense. So Good, strong serving. They've got serving targets. They're serving at seams, and really an excellent serving strategy so far.
As we take a look at the roster for the Seminoles, I mentioned Caroline Golden coming back. She's their lone super senior, along with Marissa Stockman, who transferred into the program a few years ago. They've got 4 juniors, but the 6 freshmen loom large. 6 out of 13 total players who can take to the floor for Chris Poole. That's the highest percentage of freshmen since 1999. And Coach, who was coaching back then?
Well, you know, I've had a team of a lot of freshmen, and it's interesting as a coach, and Chris Poole's coached a lot, and I'm sure he's going through the same thing I did. You think you've covered things, and then you realize they just got here, and so we're going to have to start all over and make sure everybody understands the basics, the culture, and how we want to do everything on court. So far, at least in this tournament, so good. They got off to a great start against Northern Arizona in Baton Rouge, but then he said they learned a lot when they played Michigan, and the Wolverines swept Florida State in that match. They didn't get a chance to play LSU due to Hurricane Ida. That's a nice swing from the right side for the Bulldogs. Spence gets her kill. And that started with a fantastic pass to the setter.
(8-3) Florida State. Overpass here. Lewis will try again. Much better pass by the Bulldogs there. Florida State now scrambling. Chacon had it roofed. And that's a really nice result. Spence once again crashing in.
Just an excellent rally by Samford. I thought they really pushed hard, played great defensively, got some good offensive swings, and then just shut this block down.
And they follow it with a service error.
And we talk about service errors, and missing in the net is not the ideal thing. If you're going to miss it, try and miss it long or wide so the other team's got an opportunity to make a choice whether or not to play it.
Good to see Lauren Deaton back into the equation for the Bulldogs, the reigning conference player of the year. She's now in the back row in the blue number 5. (10-4) FSU. Nice crowd on hand for a Friday morning. As Lauren Burrows heads back to serve, and this was a really nice rotation for the Seminoles last night. She'll serve once more.
You see Samford's trying to hit around that big block. Florida State's got Tessier at 6'3", and Corey Lewis is at 6'3", so a big block trying to hit around them.
Just over the back, the aggressive serve from Burrows donates a point to the Bulldogs. Kate Wonas checking in now for Samford. It's Lewis.
That's a nice find, just to go cross court and hit the furthest distance she can is to that deep corner. So an excellent vision on her part to see what's open.
Morgan Chacon, the junior from Indiana. Back to serve, ace serve for Chacon.
And that's a perfect serve, showing that she went right in the seam in between 2 players, not sure who should take it and whether it's in or out.
Deaton on the serve receive, and Spence from the right side records another kill.
And they've been able to do that as long as they get that pass up. Another excellent pass, and results in a kill.
Spence from Huntsville, Alabama checking out. And there's another big swing from Audrey Koenig. She can really crack at that ball, and she can hit some exceedingly sharp angles.
And that's really a tough ball to dig. You're not very far away from the hitter. You don't have a lot of time, but she did have a nice angle on that.
Overpass. And right through the seam it goes. Emma Clothier.
And we'll see Florida State moving their hitters around. It's very effective, trying to lose that middle blocker. Can't quite get there and a little bit late.
Junior from Carrollton, Texas, who's adjusting to becoming a leader of this team. It's amazing how quick that happens when you were the young one and now all of a sudden you become the leader. From the right side, looks like Wonus on the slide, executes to perfection.
We'll see she takes off from the middle and gets out here off of 1 foot. Again, hits the hole, which is where most of the time where people hitting the slide, gonna try and hit that seam.
Didn't see any game action last season, and so this year has seen her first D1 volleyball. She's seen a lot of it, has factored into the equation quite nicely for the Bulldogs. The back row attack for Chacon results in another Florida State kill.
And again, Florida State moves this ball around a lot, not just to the front row people, but they are able to set some of their players in the back row and go for a different look at the attack.
Wonus once again trying to execute on the slide. Overpass put down by Clothier.
That ball comes over, you've got to just make sure you don't get in the net and just try and hit it back at an angle. She did a great job on that one.
The quarter went off speed and was rejected. It has been all Florida State early.
And you'll get a good look at the penetration. You can see those hands are over the net at the time of contact. Excellent blocking.
Timeout Samford with Florida State up 18-7 and on a 3-0 run. And it has been a season already full of a lot of meaning for Florida, and why Chris Poole was able to get such a strong foothold early on in his career in Florida State. 2009, one of his first years at the helm. They win the ACC. They go to the Elite Eight. A couple of years later, he took a team to the Final Four and really set the framework for his program early on. Another point, excuse me, for Florida State as that attack sails wide. And of course, there's also the signage in the arena already. The second team All-American and the Player of the Year in 2009, Barry. Clothier once again. A 5-0 run for the Seminoles. The quarter goes off speed. Good decision. Florida State has to scramble. And Chacon just rolls it from the back row into the dead spot right in the middle of that Bulldog defense.
And Florida State's done a nice job of not really making any unforced errors. And Chacon sees what's open, just off speeds it, rolls it right in the middle, makes Samford try and make a decision of who needs to pick that up.
In my opinion, Coach, and I'd submit this to you for your insight, one of the more interesting hitters, I think, in the conference. She can go any speed, anywhere on the court. Really a crafty, heady type of player.
Yes, I would agree. And plays all the way around, so she can attack from anywhere.
Nice swing, but it did not, I don't know if it caught the court or not. We are calling this match remotely, but McWhirter does have a really impressive swing. You can see why she factors into the equation of the SoCon so often. New setter is Ava Pitchford, one of a number of freshmen from Florida State, and that's a service error for Ava.
And that's 3 service errors for Florida State, so that's 3 of Samford's 8 points.
Nobbert back to serve. Koenig was looking the line. I think she missed it. Indeed, it is point Samford.
She might have been trying to go off those blockers' hands and just missed that, and it ends up going out of bounds.
Albert will serve once more. And that one is good, right through the seam. Koenig gets that kill right back.
And a good effort with Samford. Both people on defense went for the ball, just couldn't quite get to it.
Leading the team in digs. Nice pass. And McWhorter cracks that one cross court. Another chance to run some offense. She'll try once more. A little amped up though, and that one's going to be point Florida State. And the Seminoles have a literal ton of set points here. Koenig back to serve. It floats long. Noles need a side out. And here's a little mini run for the Bulldogs. Kayla Keshak back to serve. The lone setter on the roster. Chacon off the top of the block, and that will do it. Samford tried to get it back in, brought it outside the antenna. So point FSU, set one FSU. And coach, it was a dominant one. Thanks in large often as they have. For any coach to take on a job and win 4 conference titles in 5 years is terrific.
No, very well coached, and he's certainly got a lot of experience and knows what he's doing, and he loves where he's at. He loves being at that university.
So we'll see what adjustments he and his team have made as we get set to resume the action at Lucy McDaniel Court inside Tully Gymnasium here in Florida's capital city of Tallahassee. So pleased to have you along for the ride. Sean Davison alongside the ABCA and USA Volleyball Hall of Famer Dr. Cecile Reynaud, our entire crew on the ACC Network Extra here with you as well on this Friday morning in Tallahassee. Underway in set number 2 between Samford and Florida State. Tight pass into the net and a chance for Samford ideally to run some offense, but both sides were scrambling. It goes down for a Florida State point.
And Florida State was lucky to get that ball over. Good coverage on a missed set.
So Caroline Golden will check in to serve. And it floats long, so the service errors that were not part of the equation for Florida State last night have crept into it here, and a nice job by that back line for Samford getting out of the way and letting it go long.
And they're in put in position. They look back and they see where that line is before the serve, so they know exactly where, if it's going to go in or out.
That was Sarah Hayes-Martin with the heads-up duck. And then Naubert goes ace serve.
And this is a serve where they've got to make a choice. Got to get over there. Caroline's got to get her foot on the line before she lets that ball go.
He's done terrific work in the back row for the Bulldogs and showed off how well she can serve. Dug that one up. Hard to tell if it caught one of the rafters or the scaffolding and came down at an awkward angle, but the court coverage not there.
I believe that did go up into the ceiling and came straight down and didn't react fast enough to play it.
Ace serve for the Seminoles.
So we've got aces, we've got a few service errors, but those are okay. They offset each other. So as long as they're scoring some aces, we'll give up on some of those service errors.
Emma Clothier back to serve, and we talked about this a little bit last night. She didn't really serve a whole lot previously, so this is a new wrinkle for Emma. And that's a heck of a swing from the outside.
And plays it getting back there, aiming for that deep corner.
Guess who? Kenya McWhorter. The sophomore from Mobile, Alabama, just a few hours down I-10 from here. Conley is rejected. McWhorter, and it looked like Bree Holmes came crashing in as well.
Now you can see they really gets over. Nice pike, arms over, really strong shoulders, great block.
Awkward pass, Chacon now goes to work from the outside. Heck of an effort from Naubert. Off the top of the block and out of play, Chacon gets her kill. But that dig from Naubert was out of this world good.
You'll see just a wonderful play, really a lunge forward, getting that ball up to where somebody can play it, able to keep it in play.
McWhorter. Free ball over from Golden. Chance to run a little more offense. It's Kenya once again.
I think she's trying to go for their hands. She might be that set's a little too far off the net for her to do that effectively. If they set it just a little closer, she's got a better shot at trying to use those hands.
So here is Burrows. Dropped a few in short and kept Tulane really off balance quite regularly last night. This time at Florida State scrambling. Duke somehow gets it over. But once again, a chance for the Bulldogs to run a little offense. Spence takes care of it, and we are tied at 5.
Spence has done a nice job of hitting over there. And again, playing against somebody that's left-handed sometimes is just a little bit different. You've got to line up differently on your block.
Nice pass on the slide. It's Lewis, a staple in the Florida State offense. Folks at home might be familiar with seeing Taryn Canute operate on the slide. Emma Clothier has done it plenty, and now Corey Lewis takes her turn.
And they leave her wide open with one blocker, and she's going to score on that all day.
Tight pass. Went off speed, good decision. Now Florida State scrambles. Here's a free ball back to the Bulldogs. Sarah Hayes-Martin will have an opportunity, and she'll make the most of it.
I think she caught that antenna.
She might have.
I believe the ball hit the antenna. I saw it shaking quite a bit there. Could be just a little bit too far outside to bring it in.
Nice dig by Dukes. Koenig on the attack. Martin through the seam. Spence off speed, overpass, kept up by Martin. She'll operate in transition, rejected by Tessier. Rejected again, Naubert all over it. Free ball to the Seminoles. Lewis on the slide. Terrific back row play from both sides. And it looked like Florida State might have been in the net. I'm not sure.
I think the ball might have come up and hit the antenna on that side. Spence did a good job of playing it in there. I believe the ball was dug up and went into the antenna.
O'Brien back to serve for the Bulldogs. Try to run the middle with Wonas. And Wonas comes away with a big block.
And their blocking has really picked up. I believe they're at 3 blocks, and Florida State only has 2. But you can see they're in position, really strong arms, strong hands.
Koenig came in from that outside pin position, and they ran the middle with her. Marie Dukes will serve. Big swing from Spence once again. It leads to an overpass. Sarah Hayes Martin has her kill.
And Samford seems like they've really gotten into a groove and a better understanding of what they need to do to play well against Florida State. Better swings, good blocks.
Consistent starter Sarah Hayes Martin for the Bulldogs going back to last season. And Koenig comes away with another kill.
You can see she's just a little bit off the net, about the 10-foot line. Able to, that really affects the timing of the block. They might have jumped just a little bit too early and that ball hit off their hands.
Tied again. Sarah Hayes Varley back to serve. Koenig heating up for the Seminoles.
Florida State was able to get a good pass, and Tessier can give her something that's good to swing at, and she can make all kinds of choices.
5 kills to go along with a dig for Audrey. Now make it 6. Wellness went off speed from that right side position. And McWhirter cleans it up, and we are tied once more. A much tighter second set, and Samford is running that offense much more effectively.
And Florida State needs to figure out the block, where they want to block them, and the timing on some of those blocks. But with that better passing and better digs, Samford's able to score.
Service error makes it 11-10 Florida State. Veer back to serve. McWhirter will take another crack at it. It patches the top of the block and caroms out of play. McWhirter really tooling that outside block by the Seminoles.
She's just able to use Conley's hands, that right hand, and you practice aiming for that, and that really pays off. It's tough to go track that down.
Dug up and out of play off the hands of Farley. Flat serve there from Lauren Burrows. Ties it back up at 12. Now catches the tape. It leads to an overpass, and Samford leads. They've been hitting .333 in this set already, and Farley puts down the overpass to add to it.
Passing and serving, Florida State makes a serving error and then a bad pass, and all of a sudden Samford's really back in it.
Quick response by the Seminoles. 375 and 235 now, respectively. Tip the cap to Coach Chan and the staff and the Bulldogs for making some serious adjustments here in set number 2. That's not the first ACC team that Samford has played this season. Got swept by Clemson, but they were incredibly tight sets. I'm talking 25, 23, 21 type of sets where in each one of them you could say, goodness, if not for a couple of breaks here or there, Samford could have maybe swept Clemson.
Nice reach up there by Corey Lewis. You can see at 6'3", she's able to just really soar above the net and snap that down with her hand. And that's what height and a good jump does for you.
I couldn't personally attest to either. 15-13 Florida State. And that'll lead us to our mid-second set media timeout. The Seminoles looking to go up 2-0. Been an entirely different story for the Bulldogs. It starts with the serve receive. The effective passing up to the setter has opened up opportunities such as these. Wonus on the slide, McWhorter from the outside. You name it, we've seen it. It's all opening up for Keeler and his team. Ten kills, 13 digs here in set number 2. Florida State somehow, I think Tessier got that over with her elbow. And it looks like that caused all kinds of chaos. That would have been the 4th contact.
You'll see she just turns around. That actually looks like that could have been illegal. Sometimes you call that a lift, but got away with it.
Nice pass. Spence off the top of the block. Chacon somehow covers ground. Burrows into the bench to try to keep it alive. Ran out of room. All-out effort by Chacon and Burrows, but a real nice pass and swing by the Bulldogs tightens this back up once more. Ace serve Holmes.
And we saw the Florida State players moving back toward the end line, but they didn't quite get to the line before they made a decision. Let it drop inside.
Bree Holmes seeing her first action of the season in this tournament. Nice play. And it leads to a transition opportunity.
You'll see this play gets set up with really an excellent dig. Setter's able to step right in, run the offense. Good, fast transition.
Kona with the roll shot. Now Farley from the outside. Chacon once again dives just to get a hand on it. Free ball opportunity. Spence goes off speed. And that caught the tape, didn't catch a hand, caromed out of play, and the Bulldogs have the lead.
And they've really started moving their offense around a little bit more. They've got 4 people now with kills. Not quite as predictable as they were in that first set.
Set to the middle. Corey Lewis tips it. Tessier with the dump. She'll set up Koenig here. Cooled the block, count the kill.
I think we've got a wet spot on the floor that we're wiping up, and the coach called number 2 over. And I'm not sure if he's trying to get her to make sure her hands are good and solid when she's over there blocking. She's been used a couple of times, but that's that's what great players do. But they're trying to make sure the perspiration is wiped up off the floor. And of course, you want to do that when Florida State's going to serve. Take your time and wipe it up a couple of times.
Freshman Dupes waits in the wings for the Seminoles. Emery out of Marietta, Georgia. Won the job to be the starting libero. And Florida State didn't quite get up to the block in time. It's so important not just to have good eyes to read the set, but also the timing. Otherwise, you get a face and a chest full of volleyball.
And that was just a fast arm swing. I think that was one of her fastest swings today.
Service error ties it again. So the Seminoles ran away with set one. Set two has been a back and forth affair.
And just when one team gets on a run, they set it off with a service error.
Pretty good pass here. On the slide, Wonis got inside that block.
It looks to me like Clothier's not quite getting her hands over that inside hand, sometimes just doesn't quite penetrate across the net. Well, I take that back. That's a face. That would have been right in the face. And when Koenig gets up so high, if you get it right in the face, that's tough.
Clothier tips it. McWhorter does anything but, and the Florida State block rejects it.
You see, they got nice. It's like 4 paddles in position over there, just directing the ball where no one is in that Samford court.
Clothier and Connolly. And now Golden checks in. Played most of her volleyball at Southeastern Louisiana. Had some time as an outside hitter. She comes in for the dig there. Clothier just rejected it with the simple snap of the wrist. And
seniors back, plus they have, I believe, a transfer that came in that's going to really help them out, and had a really, I think, a solid season last year. Georgia Tech is on a roll. I think I've been very impressed with them. They're on I think California this weekend, and then Louisville's also been excellent. So it'll be interesting to see how they come along. And of course, injuries are going to be a factor. So depends on who stays healthy.
Couldn't agree more. As that attack sails long from the quarter, and when you look at the SoCon, the way Samford's been running that conference, you don't want to just give it to them, but they really do a good job of testing themselves, and they're really doing themselves proud here in set number 2 against Florida State. If they play this brand of volleyball on a consistent basis in conference, they're going to be hard to beat.
And the second set has been just a totally different team. They've done a better job of passing, had some more blocks, been able to distribute, I think, the ball to more hitters. That keeps Florida State on their toes.
And on the road in a big non-conference matchup, Keeler Chan calls timeout, and I couldn't agree more with his decision to do so, Coach, because it's a big-time mountain to climb if you're down 2-0 on the road. We'll talk more about that when we come back to Tallahassee. Here in set number 2 at Lucy McDaniel Court inside Tully Gymnasium. And, Coach, we were talking right before the break about how well Samford has been playing here in set number 2. A timely timeout by Keeler Chan because, if at all possible, you want to win set 2 because it makes the rest of the proceedings a whole lot easier. You still got a lot of work to do, but it sure beats being down 2-0 on the road.
But you just have to focus on one point at a time. You can't really think about the big picture. You've got to really focus on what do I need to do to win this next point, and that's it.
And that's exactly what happens. McWhorter right through the seam, cross court.
And if they come back and serve strong, make sure they get those serves in, go at some seams at Florida State, they could add up a few points here.
Roberts to serve, nice pass, and really nice job defensively for the Bulldogs. It turns into a transition opportunity. Defense feeding offense once again.
Really just a fantastic dig. The setter pulled up the blockers, and that held Clothier over there just a little bit too long.
Farley, the outside hitter, doing some terrific work as a 6 rotation player. And there's that Samford block.
Great solo block. A real surprise. Florida State just wasn't ready to cover that hitter, but just a fantastic block.
Bree Holmes with the block. And then promptly after that 3-0 run for Samford, a service error, and Florida State takes the lead right back. Clothier back to serve. They're going to call 4 contacts here by Samford. 2 players went back to receive the same serve, so they must have seen in the arena that they each made contact with that ball at a different time. So now set points for the Seminoles. McWhorter goes off speed. Conley from the right side takes a crack at it. And there's the block to seal set 2. Conley gets it done defensively, and Florida State gets it done early, winning sets 1 and 2. A good start to this match, Coach. As all the players take to the floor here, we've got a momentary delay. We'll reintroduce ourselves to you. Sean Davison alongside the ABCA and USA Volleyball Hall of Famer, Dr. Cecile Reynaud, here at Lucy McDaniel Court at Tolley Gymnasium. And of course, the way volleyball works, for those who are tuning in, maybe for the first time just getting into it, best 3 of 5. First to 25 by a margin of 2 in sets 1 through 4. If they reach a 5th set, it's first to 15.
And Samford starts out with that overpass. Again, they really were strong in that second set because they controlled their passing.
Wonus on the slide, goes off speed. Clothier rejects it, and then McWhorter takes a big swing right through the Florida State blockers.
I've really liked watching her play. She's able to get herself lined up. Doesn't quite go for the top of the hands, but she plays it off of the right back for Florida State and causes that touch.
Sky Eats checking in for the Seminoles here in set number 3.
Of course, the longer they play, a little bit more perspiration on the floor, trying to make sure that's cleaned up and safe for everybody.
Coach Poole has now sent 12 of his 13 potential players to the floor in this match. Second straight match he's done so. Emily Nobbert back to serve. 2 assists to go along with 5 digs. Has recorded an ace as well. Nice job there defensively by Nobbert. And it leads to a kill by Bree Holmes.
Just a fantastic dig. And then able to score out of the middle, just up against one blocker, but you can see it's really set up nicely.
Coach Chan spoke glowingly of Holmes when we met with him the other day. They are certainly glad to have her back into the equation. McWhorter from the outside. Takes a lot of swings, has had a hard time with that Florida State block at times, but she also has 7 kills now to go along with it. Nobbert looking line and just missed it.
And that's been a pattern for them. They really score a few points and then they give it away with a missed serve.
At the 5th service error for Samford to go along with 3 aces is Caroline Golden, the senior from Mandeville Louisiana goes back to serve. That's another ace for the Seminoles. My goodness, they're 9th. And right on cue, that is their 7th service error.
And that's just, you're the only one in charge. You've got the ball. There's no reason. Got to really concentrate and focus on getting that serve in.
Kayla Keyshock back to serve. And Morgan Chacon rolls one across the tape for another kill.
And we've seen her do this a few times. It doesn't have to be a hard hit. It just has to be effective. She slows down her arm a little bit, catches the defense back on their heels, waiting for that hard hit.
Had some attacking errors pile up in Baton Rouge, did Chacon, but had a really nice statistical night last night. She's been really clean today as well so far. There's that Florida State block, Sky Eakes.
And this is a tough one to block because the hitter is so far off the net, but good timing by both blockers.
Couple of freshmen there in Lewis and Eakes.
And you can see them just grinning at each other, they're having a good time.
Pretty good pass there and a quick set taken care of. Bree Holmes came in for another kill.
And I like it when Samford runs their middle. They seem to be very effective when that happens. The other one that scored a lot is Spence. We haven't seen her hit too many lately.
Bree Holmes grew up in Florida, out of the Orlando area, went to Orangewood Christian School, and she has been awfully impressive. Lauren Deaton, as I mentioned earlier, a player that certainly Samford is thrilled to have back. Got her first action of the season earlier in this tournament. She's the reigning Conference Player of the Year in the SoCon.
I believe Eakes was going for their hands and just couldn't quite get the top of them.
So Deaton will serve once more with a 6-5 lead. And how about an ace serve for Lauren? Five digs to go along with that ace. And Florida State's having some problems. Corey Lewis over the back.
Well, Samford's keeping their serve in, and if they keep their serve in, then we can see Florida State have some issues. Bingo.
You must have coached this sport a time or two, huh?
Seen it, done it, been there, know what's going to happen. It's just hard to watch because you do so well and you get yourself going, and then all of a sudden you just give it away.
You mentioned Spence. You hadn't seen a whole lot from her lately, and there she came crashing in for the block with Bree Holmes.
And she's a big key to their success. I think that that blocking and also her hitting with the left hand has scored some points. But yeah, excellent block and good position.
The opposite hitter out of Huntsville, Alabama. Tight pass. Tessier just tips it across, and that's all she needed to do.
Yeah, very effective, tipping it behind her, dumping the ball back behind her. Really, defense is not quite ready for this, although three should have been able to get it. Sarah Haynes-Farley should have been ready for that if she wasn't blocking down on the floor, and should have been ready for that dump.
And there's the service error by Morgan Chacon. So a 3-point lead for Samford represents their largest of the day. There's a dump from Tessier, nicely done. picking that up. And it leads once again to another kill. Farley from the outside takes care of it. Kate Morgan with the quick reflexes, covering ground to dig up that dump from Tessier. A chance to run a little more offense. It's Wonis on the slide, off the block, and the run continues.
We'll see that they can be successful again with a good pass, good transition. Really a great shot down the line.
Koenig with the big swing, kept up by Naubert. Farley launches from the back row. And so too will Chacon.
And that's a great choice as a setter. Sometimes when you're just not in position, you've got people in the back row that can jump and swing, and Chacon is one of those players.
Dukes into serve. Morgan once again did a really nice job on the serve receive and just gave her offense a chance.
And Koenig has got to know where she is on that line and what's going to be in. She's just in a little bit too close. Almost looks like she closed her eyes and just hoped it went out, but maybe just a step back will give her a little more success there.
Back to serve. And Florida State will come away with a timely point. Everybody came crashing in on the net there.
Yeah, really effective block. Just tips that net, rolls, and falls right in on the sideline.
Now Tessier will serve. Conley.
We know she likes to score down the line, so the block's got to adjust on that.
That now Sydney's 4th kill of the match. Kayla Keyshot. Always keep an eye on the setter in a 5-1.
We haven't seen that happen too many times, but she's really effective. Nobody's with her. Just all of a sudden, well, sorry, one's up with her, but you've got to be ready. The other 5 people have got to be down and ready for that dump.
Koenig tips it from the right side. Nicely dug up by Chacon, but Koenig runs out of room.
Samford is just keeping the pressure on him. See just a play down the line and can't quite get that platform turned back into the court.
And so that leads us to this rated across college athletics and really in a whole lot of other areas because of his reach across the country in all kinds of respects.
And really just a gentleman. We started here at the same time in 1976. We both came to Florida State University. I had the pleasure of coaching on the staff at the same time, and he treated us all with such respect, and it was a real pleasure to be a friend of his.
The Bowden family was so incredibly open, including the Florida State fans and boosters to partake and pay their respects. And then after that, he lied in state at Samford as well. And so he's a fixture on that Samford campus, and they revere him as much as the folks here in Tallahassee do. McWhorter was looking for that back corner. Goes point Florida State. Looks like we might have some substitutions.
Not sure if there's a challenge or what they're looking at. It might be a challenge.
Okay.
Got the second referee walking along. Yep, she's getting ready to pick up a headset and look at the replay. This is the first challenge we've seen here today.
This is the first challenge that we've seen in either of our matches. We didn't have a single one last night. And so Sulenyo Owado, the R2 for this match, who was the up official last night, will head to the monitor. And so this is what she's looking at.
I believe it's the shot that the Samford coach thought probably landed in. And if any of the ball touches that 2-inch line, that would be called good. It would be in. So we'll see what the second referee thinks.
So, of course, the challenge here, it would seem, whether or not that ball is in or out. It's one of several things that coaches can challenge throughout the course of a match. It includes whether or not it was touched by a player, whether or not there was a net fault, whether or not there was a service foot fault, or whether or not there was a back line foot fault as well. And so in non-conference, we're going to talk about this as well. In non-conference, coaches have 3 challenges. If you use them, you lose them. If you go to a 5th set, you get another. Now, what a lot of conferences now, Coach, are experimenting on doing, the ACC is one of them, and I believe the SoCon will do this as well, is once you get into conference play, you get 2 challenges. If you're successful, you keep them, and then I believe you get an extra one in set 5 as well.
I believe that's correct, and we'll see if the coaches are like that or not. They'll use it as an experimental rule this year.
And it would appear that they overturned this call, and it will be point Samford.
I think we might have just served before the whistle, so they'll have a replay on that. Got to make sure everybody's ready.
So Norbert will serve once more. Back set to Clothier on the slide, and that's a timely kill for Florida State.
And they're going to need to pull this back together pretty quickly. Serve aggressively, serve smart, try and get Samford back off balance and out of system again to score some points and catch up.
Bulldogs hitting .588 in this set. And a nice job on the serve receive leads to another McWhorter kill.
Excellent vision of the court, knowing that that deep line is open and being able to place that in there.
Key shot back to serve. And that somehow stays alive. Tessier just knocks it across the tape. Holmes takes a crack at it. And now Golden launches from the back row. Point Samford.
And that was a nice aggressive play by Golden. Just got to reach a little higher and aim for one of those corners.
Nice pass. Good block. And Chacon goes right through those blockers' hands and out of play. 2011 Bulldogs, what a response.
And again, as long as they keep this serve in, they've been able to score points.
Clothier with the big swing. Once again, an all-out effort. I believe that was Farley who kept that ball alive. It goes point Florida State. But that was a monster attack from Clothier. McWhorter. Attacking errors have been at a minimum. Excuse me, I believe that was actually Lauren Deaton. Now just 3 in this set for Samford. Overpass, and that will get put down by Chacon.
That's really been the Achilles heel for Samford here today, so they've got to keep that pass off the net and in control. You'll see it's just an overpass, and Chacon's got nothing to do but stuff it back down.
Played up to Chacon. She rolls it down the line. And once again, Samford scrambling. And Florida State cleans it up. Conley just tips it straight back down. The Noles are on a 4-0 run. And I believe we'll see a timeout by Keeler Chan. So Samford in a must-win set is seeing their lead shrink. We'll see if they can hang on when we come back. Samford needs to win this set as the ace drops for the Seminoles to make it a 5-0 run. Emma Clothier with the 10th ace for Florida State. Cuts the lead to 4. Spence tips it from the right side. Dayton now rolls it from the outside position. Lewis goes off speed, has it knocked back by Holmes, and now Conley will take a crack. Extended rally here. Conley off the top of the block, played up once again. I believe that was Farley. How about the quick reflexes from Dayton? Spence looking for high hands, did not catch them. This run continues for the Seminoles. And what adjustments do you think were made on Florida State's side of things, Coach?
Well, I think Coach Poole has really probably talked about keeping that serve in and being aggressive but not reckless with their serve. So trying to get Samford back out of system, which they did so well in that first set.
I think that one came in outside the antenna. Yeah, it did. Point Florida State.
And this is really a big comeback, and you can see Samford's really trying to talk themselves through it. But you'll see the ball is, and that's just kind of a throw, the ball is definitely outside the antenna. Nothing good to swing at there.
Nice rotation for the Seminoles. Now you have two Bulldogs receiving the same serve. Spence now with the big swing, and that didn't catch any hands.
And they've really tried to go, I think, around that block, but they're a little too far off the net to use them. So they've got to try and figure out a way to either get it set closer and hit it off the block or try and cut it inside.
Can Samford hang on? Can Florida State stage a massive comeback here in set 3 for the sweep? Holmes goes off speed. Florida State scrambling a bit. This will be kept alive somehow. Yeah, I think that one came outside the antenna as well.
Well, the nice aggressive move for Samford, getting over there to try and play it.
And so all of a sudden, the lead has completely disappeared. 20-all, third set. Clothier on a 10-0 run with her teammates. It's the longest run we've seen from either side today.
And the key is always just serve in and win. And let's see if we can see it going all the way to the corner.
I mean, did that finger move at all, in your opinion, as that ball came by? It was incredibly close, obviously.
Yeah, I think they're looking at whether the ball was in or out at the corner.
So with these challenges, the potential for a 2-point swing, it goes Florida State's way.
And she gave a signal that the ball was in.
So instead of it being 22-20 Samford, it's 21-all, and that's the look you were looking for, Coach.
That's,
and
yeah, I think that's the one that that everybody thought. And again, the line judge was it was coming directly at him, so he did not make a call.
A huge turn of events here in set number 3. a massive FSU run. Samford thought they might have responded with a mini run of their own to reestablish a little cushion, and then it goes away via a review, and now they have a slight edge off a service error.
Did I say sermon and win once before?
I think you did.
I've said it for years, especially when it gets to be this tight.
On the slide, Lewis. Killed Florida State, 22-0.
And a nice choice by Tessier to get that back to Lewis and let her get a swing at it. You see she really stretches out there, able to score against one blocker, hits it in between the two defenders. Great play.
All sets must be won by 2 points, so it's not a scenario where when one of these teams hits 25, if it's 25-24, set and or match over. Florida State inching closer. It'll be 23-22 Seminoles, their first lead since early in this set. And Chacon will head back to serve. What kind of response does Samford have left in them here? We're about to find out because it's now match point.
And this has really been a great comeback for Florida State. A lot of confidence building here.
And a well-played last couple of sets for Samford under Coach Chan, who looks to have his team really, if they play this brand of volleyball over the last 2 sets, looking pretty darn good in the SoCon. It's the Seminoles who storm back and they sweep Samford here in this morning match. Cecile, what are your thoughts on what you saw out of both of these teams here?
Well, I think Florida State really stepped it up here in this third set and served in when they needed to win.